Hello, and welcome to another episode of Bored and Annoyed. I'm Jackson.
And I am home at the movies.
And this week we've got a few different movies to talk about, including an old classic that I saw in the theater the other day.
Fantastic. Dun-it. Dun-it. Bored and Annoyed. That's a terrible opening to this episode, but that's all right.
That was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah. We're coming at you, and you have nowhere to run because you're stuck in the ocean with nowhere to go.
Well, I don't know if that really applies to our listeners.
Well, maybe. They could be on vacation somewhere.
Yeah, I guess they could be on a boat.
You know, and they can't change their podcast, choice for some reason.
They're stranded.
And it was a nice try at a joke, Alex.
Right,
all right. I get it.
I'm like, we need more jokes on the podcast, and I'm going to shoot the first one down that we try and do.
All right, so news this week.
Yeah, how do you feel about that Jared Leto guy? Isn't he just fantastic?
He is not overrated at all.
Right. Yeah, I'm right there with you. He's the voice of a generation. You know?
Yeah, apparently so. Ever since that, what was it? The AIDS movie with
Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, and he was okay in that, but I wasn't like.
I thought he did a really good job. I liked him in that quite a bit, but we should probably get into the actual news part of this.
Okay, yeah. So why are we talking about?
We're talking
him,
about
Alex?
Jared Leto because the last time he did a comic book movie, it was just universally praised, and which was Suicide Squad, by the way.
Just shooting for humor on this episode.
Yeah. Well, nothing but sarcasm.
Well, and he was, I thought, going to be in a standalone Joker movie. Is that still happening?
I mean, it's DC. I turned into Jeff Goldblum there because I have no answers for that.
So he might be in two comic book movies that will come out pretty close together.
Yeah, because he's going to star. He's going to be the lead title role of Morbius, the living vampire.
Now, we talked about this before, but I don't get it.
It's
living vampire thing.
Yeah, well, it's what's separate. He's special, Jackson.
Okay. All right.
He's special.
That's what makes him like a superhero.
Yeah, he's living.
Got it.
But yeah, that's the Spider-Man spinoff, the living vampire.
Sure.
Movie is going to be directed by Daniel Espinosa.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
He did Safe House and Life, that Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal space one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so he didn't do Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, where they spend life in prison on like a plantation for a crime they didn't commit?
I never saw that.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Was that during Eddie Murphy's very brief height of his popularity? There's no way, because it's Martin Lawrence.
No, it's way too late. It was like his post-Nutty Professor resurgence.
So right around Daddy Daycare?
Yeah, probably Dr. Dolittle.
All right, yeah.
Era, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see Eddie Murphy's movies during that time.
It's an okay movie. I mean, I don't want to ever watch it again because it'll ruin it, I'm sure. But at the time it came out, I kind of liked it. But yeah, anyways.
But yeah, the writers, and this is the one that's really got me. We'll get to the Jared Leto part. The writers for the film are Burke Sharpless and Matt Sazama.
Okay.
And they wrote, we got a little list here, Netflix's Lost in Space, the Power Rangers, the newest Power Rangers film, Gods of Egypt, The Last Witch Hunter, which is that...
Jeremy Renner, right? Or no?
I believe that was...
No, that was Hansel and Gretel. Or whatever.
That was it. Yeah. I believe this was the one with Vin Diesel. Yes, that gem. And Dracula Untold.
Okay.
That's their major filmography. I don't understand why you would give a film to these guys, because none of those movies are good. And not only are they not good, but they're not financially successful.
They weren't successful. So I was going to say, I didn't hate the Dracula one.
That's the only one that I haven't seen.
Okay. See, I never saw like Gods of Egypt. I heard it was trash.
Yeah, not good.
The Dracula movie isn't good.
Right.
But I didn't like hate it. So.
Yeah. The Power Rangers movie is not good.
I did not like that. I saw that as well.
Yeah, that was really not good.
But Bryan Cranston was in it.
God, that's such a waste, man. Like him as Zordon is, I mean, that's...
You like the idea.
I really like the idea.
Okay.
Even Bill Hader as Alpha 5.
Well, I didn't
liked
even
that.
realize that's who that was.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's pretty decent casting. But fuck that movie. And then the Lost in Space, that was boring as fuck. So I just don't understand this at all.
Yeah, I watched the first couple episodes of Lost in Space. I thought it was okay, but mainly just because I was kind of blown away that they made it look so good.
Yeah, the special effects were really good.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, I made it about 10, 20 minutes into the first episode, and I was like, this is just so boring.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, it's not bad. It's just bland and boring. And,
Okay.
you know.
But yeah, you're just questioning why would you give a franchise starter with a superhero to these guys?
Who really don't have, they haven't proven themselves to me. Like, it's not like you have one gem out of that pile of shit. It's just varying levels of shit.
Okay, well maybe that's what they're going for, is just a little pile of shit that they don't have to spend too much money on.
I suppose, yeah.
They think Jared Leto will take them over the finish line. And it might happen. People like him.
So what do you think he's going to send to his castmates on this film? Because did you hear about what he sent to his castmates?
When he
for
played the
Suicide Squad?
Joker, he sent something, didn't he? Like
He sent used anal beads, a dead rat, used condoms. He sent these to his co-stars, Margot Robbie and all those guys.
Yeah, but he was being the crazy
I know.
Joker.
That's what the Joker would do, right? He'd be like, "Oh, it's funny. It's a condom."
Yeah, I don't know. I meant something vampire related?
He's gonna say dead rats,
Vials of blood?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's just a box of blood.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't be getting excited for this one.
No.
No.
This has a huge uphill battle. Another one that I think probably has an uphill battle is we got Sonic the Hedgehog, the film.
Yeah, is this live action? What is this? I heard about this.
Okay, so I don't believe anything is official yet, but I think they're doing it a la the Smurfs or...
okay.
So
All right.
live action meets CGI. So they just cast Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, who is the villain of Sonic.
Everybody who's played knows exactly. Eggman.
Yes.
Eggman.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The film also has James Marsden attached to it, but I'm kind of concerned because I'm like, if they're doing the Smurf thing, then he's the normal guy that Sonic meets, and he's like, nah, and he's like, whoa, wow, a crazy cartoon
This sounds
character.
awful, by the way. If that's what they're doing with
Yeah.
that, I mean, period. It's not a good franchise for a movie.
Yeah,
It's awful.
I mean, you know that it's going to be like a Talladega Nights kind of thing. I got to go fast.
The game was purely about going fast.
Which is
the
like
story. The story is that there's animals that were turned into machines by Dr. Robotnik. That's it.
Right.
So, good luck.
Well, you know, it exists, and you know, people know what it is, so therefore it needs a movie.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I mean,
It's like the most dead franchise of video games right now. Like Sonic the Hedgehog.
right. When was the last time there was a good Sonic game?
Oh, Jesus. I remember I liked the one on the Dreamcast. So that was 99, almost 20 years ago. That's the last one I remember playing.
I remember there. I don't watch Let's Plays very often, but there's this one where they're playing a Sonic game, and they didn't quite know how to convert him from 2D to 3D. So like he would get trapped in walls, and like he would get stuck in a corner, and he couldn't run.
It was very awkward, the 3D Sonic games. They actually, I guess, shout out, I should have said, on the Nintendo Switch, and I think on the other ones, there's Sonic Mania, which is like they brought back the original team that made the original ones.
Okay.
And they made like a 2D side scroll.
Oh, good.
Which is, yeah, I mean, but it's still just a frustrating pain in the ass because all you do is run as fast as you can, run into shit, die, and then try and figure out how to run fast through the level.
But yeah, fuck that movie.
Yeah, right.
I'm not
Yeah,
excited for that. Another one that I don't know. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one. I'm kind of interested. So Indiana Jones 5, which will be starring Harrison Ford, is being delayed. They are doing script rewrites. Jonathan Kasdan, the son of Lawrence Kasdan.
So the guy who helped out with Solo.
Yes, he's doing the rewrites. So how do you feel about that?
I don't care. I'm just not excited about it.
It's sad. It's a little sad.
I'm just not excited. Yeah. I mean, I like Indiana Jones. I'll
Right.
see it.
Yeah.
Well, I see everything. That's a
Right.
stupid thing to say at this point.
Yeah, that is really just nothing
It
at this
means
point.
nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be at The Purge tomorrow on opening night. So what does it mean that I'll go see,
Right.
you know,
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I'll go see it. I'll let you know how it is
Yeah.
in 4 years when it comes out.
Yeah. I mean,
So is Lucasfilm, is this a Disney property at this point then?
this is a Disney property. Yeah.
Oh, so this will be their first indie attempt.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I mean,
Is Shia LaBeouf coming back?
God, you got to hope not. Right.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't want him back.
You know what I want? Well, one, I kind of just don't want an Indiana Jones movie. I'm just kind of like, Harrison, you're just too old. It didn't work in Indy 4. Whenever they cut to his stunt double, it was really obvious.
Right. It's fun. Is Steven coming back?
Yes, he's directing. So that's the one thing I'm like, dude, you almost had it. You almost had that old Spielberg magic with Ready Player One.
I didn't hate as a film.
Mm-hmm.
If going into the fourth Indiana Jones movie, you're not an Indiana Jones fan. You have none of that nostalgic shit
Right.
to worry about. I don't think it's awful. It's not good.
I kind of hated it.
Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things like it kind of happened like right away when in fact, I believe it actually became a film term, nuking the fridge.
Yeah, okay. Well, that scene was hilarious, though, because of how stupid it
It
is.
was so bad. And that's how you start your film.
I mean, they started it with the warehouse scene. The
Yeah.
little chase where the Ark is shown,
Yeah.
which is stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
The whole alien Roswell thing,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. This is the era. You're trying to do like 50s or whatever year it was.
Yeah,
Era.
50s.
Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're,
they're doing the
you're
Cold
going
War.
for like, okay, what was going on at that time?
Right.
But sci-fi and Indiana Jones probably not a good idea.
You could just tell that Lucas had a little too much input.
Is he? I'm assuming he's involved in this.
I don't think he can be because he's not
Him and
attached.
Disney.
He's not attached to Lucasfilm anymore.
So
though.
he won't even speak with the white slavers that he sold Star Wars to. Is
that was
the
a
deal?
great quote that he had, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Because that's a good apt comparison.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. What an ass.
He is just so hateable.
Yeah. We don't have to spend any time on this at all, but I as the Marvel shill, I do like seeing this. Ant-Man and the Wasp landed a very solid 88% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good. Just from I haven't read reviews, but I saw like last week or something. Before the tomato score even hit, they had the Twitter first, which I always kind of take with a grain of salt because these are like, the Collider type nerds that they give free passes to, and then they all come in and just blow whatever movie they got to go see early.
There are some people on the Collider crew that I feel like you can really take their. Perry Nemiroff is one of them. She's very honest.
Okay.
But she liked it, and I've seen a lot of them that seem like it's pretty good.
Okay.
You know?
Well, yeah, I'm excited for it. It's this weekend.
Exactly. That'll be next week's episode, along with The Purge and what was that other film that we're gonna go see?
Sorry to bother you.
Yeah,
That looks good.
that looks great.
Yes.
That's got a 90 something. So
Okay. Sweet.
I'm stoked for that.
I'm assuming I'm taking one for the team on The Purge. This is going to be my...
I might actually see it.
Okay, yeah, see, that'd be good, because I'd like you to see the fourth one and not have seen any of the others.
Well, it looks really bad. This is my favorite piece of news for the week, though. This is the one I love. So Todd McFarlane, the one who created Spawn, who's writing and directing the Spawn movie starring Jamie Foxx, also created Venom for Marvel back in the day.
He was the creator of Venom?
He was the creator of Venom. He was, I believe he was writing and drawing the Spider-Man series at the time.
Okay.
And yeah, he created Venom. So he wants a crossover. And I've got some nice little quotes here to solidify the sort of a delusional aspect.
You think it's delusional?
I think it's absolutely delusional.
Let's hear it. Oh, we did at one point have a Spawn Batman crossover in comic books.
Yeah, comics is one thing.
That's true.
Because, I mean, we had a Marvel versus DC crossover. So
Send me info on that. I want to read that, whatever it was.
Oh, it was in the 90s and it was garbage.
Okay. I still want to see it.
Okay. So Mr. McFarlane says, here's a big what if. What if Sony distributes Spawn? Then is it possible that in the future Sony could have a crossover with Venom and Spawn? It's possible. So I will be presenting that possibility to Sony executives when we get ready. My conversation with them would be, why wouldn't you? Here's what I know. Let's say Venom is a huge hit. I hope it is. Then no matter who distributes Spawn, the first thing you will see in every trailer will be from the co-creator of Venom. I'm sorry, I don't see that happening in the trailer, but I'm going to continue here.
Well, wait a minute. Why would they ever tag it that way?
Right.
It's the creator of Spawn.
Right.
Like, the guy who created Spawn is making this movie.
I'm sorry, but that's not like a selling feature. You don't see in the trailers like from creator Stan Lee. You never see that.
It's probably true, yeah.
So, I mean, and he continues on with, so then my question to Sony is, why would you let one of your competitors use that line, given that it is your effort that made Venom work, your money that made Venom work, your marketing that made Venom work? I think it's worth asking. And then what happens if they both work? And then what happens 10 years down the line when they do want to do a Spawn and Venom crossover and they get the guy who helped create both those characters to direct it? Might be kind of cool.
Yeah, he's dreaming. He's looking way out in the future there, first of all.
That's way too many.
You know that both of these movies could suck and fall on their faces.
Yes. I mean, this is so... Okay.
So someone baited him into this.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a pie in the sky dream because there's so many what ifs that need to come. Both of the movies need to be good, first of all, for this to... You need to get Sony to be the distributor. Then you need to not make a movie that sucks first.
Well, you also need to make a movie that's like that it has the same tone, sort of.
Right.
Like he's talking about this like kind of creepy-ish like detective movie horror type feel. And then you see the Venom trailer and that's not what that is.
No, not at all. It's bland and boring.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
I mean, he's dreaming if he thinks that he can be the one who directs it. He hasn't even directed a single film yet. This is his first film.
He knows he's good, Alex.
Yeah. Oh, he's got such faith in his ability.
He does seem like the kind of guy that just likes to blurt bullshit out. I mean, he's been talking about this Spawn movie for years.
Yeah, just put up or shut up is where we're at.
And it sounds like he's doing that at least.
I mean, yeah. But then I'd say probably the biggest thing for me is like, okay, so Marvel sold the film rights to Sony back when they were going bankrupt, but there are still stipulations. Like they have that Peter can never be a smoker. That's one of their stipulations. These were all leaked during the Sony hack, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Hold on. Say that again. Who stipulate Peter can't be a smoker? Yeah. This is like the kind of shit that they...
Yeah, they have to, like there are certain things, like I don't think they can change the race of Peter Parker. He has to be represented in a certain way. Like you can't change the character.
Okay.
When they sold the rights. And so it's one of those things where Venom as a tertiary character for Spider-Man, he has no connection to Spawn whatsoever in the traditional sense. So...
Yeah, if you do a Venom Spawn crossover, then Spawn exists in the same universe as Spider-Man.
Exactly. And quite frankly, that kind of breaks the Marvel universe a little bit.
That would be stupid. It would break the whole feeling of Spawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Then can't you just fucking make Spawn movies?
Yeah. Why does everything have to be a shared universe? Why can't you just make your Spawn movie and have it be good? Have some spin-off character, Silverhawk or whatever the fuck the dude, Darkhawk. Yeah, right.
Or the little pig guy.
There's a pig guy?
Yeah, there's like a little... I forget his name.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't he run around with a suit on?
I don't remember exactly what his deal was. But yeah, no, you have Clown and Violator and Malbolgia and all that shit. Just do your Spawn movie. Shut up. Nobody cares about anything else. Nobody cares about Spawn besides people like me.
Yeah. Yeah, first you got to get people on board for Spawn.
Right.
And, try and get people on board for Venom, too.
You've got some morons on board for Venom.
Yeah, that's true. Are they part of the Jurassic World?
Yeah, it's the same. The PETA for Dinosaurs crew. They all can't wait to see Venom.
We're the morons. We love Venom. Save the dinos. But yeah, let's get into the reviews.
All right.
I heard that you saw like a shit ton of movies this week.
I saw a shit ton of stuff.
Okay. Let's start.
We'll start with The Staircase.
Okay, The Staircase. What is that?
So The Staircase is a docuseries. This guy, Michael Peterson, in 2001, was accused of murdering his wife, Kathleen Peterson.
All right.
She was found. He called 911.
Okay.
Like panicking. Oh, she's at the bottom of the staircase. So
Right.
the cops came. She was like bloody as shit. There's blood everywhere, lacerations on her head, all sorts of shit. So he got arrested.
Okay.
So the documentary follows him from, and this was his crew that he hired.
Okay.
Like he wanted this documented. Follows him from 2001 through the entire court case.
Okay.
And then in like 2008, there was an appeal.
Okay.
So they come back, or 2011, I don't remember exactly. But basically, there's shit in this documentary. It's 13 episodes.
All right.
That go from 2001 to 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very detailed. Like it could have been 7 episodes.
Okay.
But pretty much they throw everything at you on this. You see kind of both sides of the case. I would say that it's a little bit friendly to Michael Peterson.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I kind of like the guy.
Okay.
That's what's odd about this is like, I tend to think he did it. But I still like.
I'll have a beer with that murderer.
He's a funny character to watch.
Okay.
He's very like,
Oh, there's Charlie Day.
Yeah, right. No, he does have a high pitched like when he gets excited.
Okay.
Or like someone questions him about something. But
Right.
But I mean, it's another one of those interesting ones where it's like, even if he did it, there's shit that the justice system did to convict him that's like, holy shit.
It's like
that's
the Making a
fucked up.
Murderer kind of series.
Only not quite as biased as that.
Okay.
Because if you went into that not going online and reading about that case at all, you'd be like, oh, he's innocent.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
there were some things in that I was like, yeah, I'm not fully informed, but there are some fishy decisions going on here.
Right. But this one, like, things happen. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's good.
Right.
The first couple episodes, you're like, Jesus Christ, 13 hours of this. But then you start to get like little bits of information that make it more interesting.
Right.
Yeah, I would recommend watching it if you're into that sort of thing.
Right. Well, they have like a whole series dedicated to shit like that. Like, how did they get away with it or shit like that?
Yep. So this is like, take one episode of that,
Stretch it out
and
to
stretch
13.
it out for 13 hours.
I cannot imagine that.
It's pretty good. I would recommend it.
So long as they don't have one of those standard like narrators who's like,
No,
and
not.
then
There's no narrator.
he pulled the knife from the kitchen drawer. What was he going to do with it?
Actually, it's funny you mentioned kitchen drawer because some people think he's got to be guilty because he keeps his silverware in the second drawer in his kitchen. That makes him a psychopath.
That's one of the most asinine things I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I would never keep my silverware in the second drawer.
No,
either. I'm glad you agree.
Thinking he's guilty. But also, yeah, that is really
It's
dumb.
weird.
I don't get that.
No, it's weird. No,
What could be more important?
Okay, what makes the show entertaining to me?
Hold on.
Okay, go
The
ahead.
people need to know, what does he have in the first drawer?
No, we don't get that revealed. The murder weapon.
Right.
Yeah, it's just sitting there. Yeah, nobody ever checked it because they figured that's where the silverware was. But no,
Check the first drawer.
The show is extremely entertaining because of this guy.
Okay.
And I talked to someone else who had seen it. They didn't agree that they liked the guy.
Okay.
But like, I've been kind of chuckling with the girlfriend watching it because I'm like, he could have done it, but I can't help it. I like him. I do. He seems like a good family man. Like they show him with his family.
He's such a great family man, killing his wife.
I mean, it's
Lacerations.
He might not have, but they say these killers can be, like sociopathic, and they can be like, kind of charming in a way.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a weird dude.
Yep.
but he's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Sure,
like everybody loved OJ.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
but
very
everybody
true.
knows OJ did it. That's the difference. Is like
Did you
I
watch-
kind of know that Michael Peterson did it, but I don't know enough to be.
Did you see that OJ versus the People?
I did. The People versus OJ Simpson. Yeah,
yeah, that was
I thought
good.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked. I didn't really like John Travolta in it.
He was okay.
He looked really weird.
Yeah.
Especially when you see what his character really looked like in real life. You're
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
You guys
well,
did
Cuba
not.
Gooding Jr. as OJ was a little bad
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
But
I
the
mean,
show was pretty good. Like
Yeah.
Darden, played by the This Is Us guy, who was in
Yeah.
Hotel Artemis. He
Yes.
was really good.
God, he's
I
great.
love the woman from Ocean's 8 who plays Marcia Gay Harden or
Yeah.
whatever.
David
She's
Schwimmer,
always great.
David Schwimmer was my favorite
That's
character.
right. Yeah, Schwimmer.
Yeah. I saw that and I'm like, God, I want to see more Schwimmer in things. It's a weird sentence to say.
Hey, go watch Breast Men. If you've never seen that one.
Breast
Have
Men?
you ever heard of this?
No.
It was like an HBO movie with him and Chris Cooper. I believe it
Okay.
was Chris Cooper. And it was like about the guys who first like started breast implants. Who like made breast implants big. So they're these sleazy doctors.
All right.
It's fucking funny.
Does
I would recommend
play,
it.
But he plays the sleazeball?
Yes. Oh yeah. Completely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I'll check it out.
Breast Men.
Breast men. Aren't we all breast men when we come down to it?
That's true.
But what else did you see?
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Oh, I watched a couple episodes of Luke Cage per your recommendation.
Yeah,
Not recommendation.
Not a recommendation.
Your insistence. Your insistence.
That I not be alone.
Yeah, so I'm through 2 episodes.
Okay.
I didn't watch The Defenders, so the first things I'm picking up on are like, oh, there's shit that must have happened between
Yeah.
the last season and this one. Like,
Yep.
one of the ladies has a cut off arm.
Yeah.
And by the way, not convincing looking at all. It's
No.
like you have like a pillow thing in a sleeve that's folded up.
Yeah.
So the arm, like, I'm sorry, your arm is right there.
Yeah.
Like that the nub or whatever
Yep.
doesn't move at all. It just hangs there.
Yeah.
Like, it looks terrible.
Yeah. How do you like the way that people treat her because she's missing an arm?
It's so stupid. It's unbelievable. She
Yeah.
comes back and there's an instant rivalry between her and this other lady detective
Yeah.
who must have like kind of taken her job.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's not started by the one-armed lady. It's
Yeah.
like she's being fine.
Yeah. People are being jerks to her.
Yes.
For missing an arm.
Yeah, they're being jerks.
Making little snide comments about like, oh, do you need a hand?
Yeah, right.
Like, really?
Well, that was like the defense attorney. You know,
Yeah.
because they're fucking pricks.
Well,
you know?
maybe you didn't get to that episode where she finally stands up and she's like, I'm missing an arm. Let's get back to work.
I saw that.
Okay.
No, I did see
there's
that.
that guy who walks by and he's part of the police force and he like shits on her for not having an arm.
It's pretty insane.
It's ridiculous.
One thing I will note is that about 10% of the total screen time seems to go to musical acts.
Yes.
With terrible lip syncing. Like,
yes.
what the fuck is that about? You just trying to pad screen time? I like the
Exactly.
music.
Yeah, the music is good, but the fact that they keep on cutting back to it.
Oh, it's so stupid. You have like a scene where, you know, like they're cutting back and forth between the club and, well, they're only cutting to the club because
Yes.
there's a musical number being played.
Yeah, but they keep on cutting back to the musician and you're like, but I'm here for the story.
Right.
This isn't like I'm not watching Jimmy Kimmel and his musical guest.
The other thing I'll say is I feel like Luke Cage is a little bit of an immature jerk in this one at the beginning.
Yes, he is.
But I also understand that because his woman is a nagging asshole who
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck?
it's once again, it's a Netflix Marvel show making the characters unlikable so that they can have contrived drama.
Oh my God, they're so unlikable. And there's the guy, the William from This Is Us. He's an old guy. He's
Yeah.
the one who like was Pop's friend or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like happens to be in the room for all these like fights between Luke and his girlfriend. And he just sits there like, oh, well. Ooh. And then when
Yeah.
one leaves, he has the like, now listen, Luke.
Yeah.
She's too good to not be, you know.
You,
and then
you
when
got a good woman.
yeah,
there.
and then when Luke's gone, he's like, sometimes you need to just let a man deal with his thing. You know? It's like, what the?
He's
This is the
playing
most
both
obvious
sides.
fucking bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's not good.
I'm going to continue it though. It's not bad enough where I'm stopping. It's not Jessica Jones season 2 bad. It's certainly not. Not the first 2 episodes anyway. That fucking Flash character in Jessica Jones season 2 killed me immediately. I could not continue.
That was really bad. There are...
Oh, and the Jamaican guy interests me, by the way.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. He'll stop interesting you real quick.
Until he stops.
He stops interesting you real quick. Yeah, I just there's so much wrong with it. Luke's story is boring. The world is boring. Harlem, like, one of the first things that you could say about the first season was that Harlem felt like it's cliche, but it's like it felt like a character.
It had a character, right? Kind of like Hell's Kitchen kind of was a character in the Daredevil series.
Here it feels very cartoonish.
Well, it's so fucking stupid. The app.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a Luke Cage app. We know where he is. Oh, and there was one scene.
How do you like that guy, his hype man?
Oh, it was terrible.
Isn't he the worst character?
Awful. And the worst part so far has been this ESPN thing. So they have Jameel Hill and Michael Smith from ESPN in the show. And then they have Todd Bowles, the coach of the Jets.
Yeah.
So it's like a cameo
And then they have Stephen A. Smith show up to be like...
I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think...
Did you see where Luke gets knocked out?
No.
Okay.
No, but Stephen A. pops into this show.
Yeah, for like 20 seconds.
That must be down the road or something. Or I was just looking at my phone.
See, there's another sign that it's not a great show.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's all. I'll give you another update next week. Hopefully I'll have finished it. That's a lot of work to put in. But
it is. So you last week you said you got to scratch that off your list. So I watched Hell or High Water.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty good. I thought the beginning was a little boring.
Okay.
But the end, like the last hour of the movie really I don't want to say saves it because it didn't need saving, but it brought it up like quite a few grades for me.
That was my 2016 Best Picture.
Best Picture?
Yes.
Yeah, I really liked it. I forget the Native American actor, but I really like him a lot. He was in Wind River.
Yep. So he is the cohort to Jeff Bridges' sheriff.
Yeah, and Jeff Bridges is doing a little bit of his. Oh God, what was that movie? God, it was a remake.
Iron Man.
True Grit. He's doing a little bit of his True Grit.
Yeah, no, that's what's neat about the movie is it's if you swap out the modern vehicles and shit and the fact that it's in modern times and you put in horses and shit, it's a Western.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a Western. It's a modern day Western. And one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. But it's funny because you try to tell people it's a Western. No, it's not a Western. No, it's like there's more to being a Western. There's a tone.
Yeah.
There's a plot line in it. You got your sheriff. You got some Native American talk in there. You've got the bank robberies.
Yes.
Well,
you've got the whole West setting.
Correct.
Old West setting.
Yep.
It's modern Old West.
Yeah, right. I love that bit where they go to that T-bone steak place.
Oh my God, that woman was such a bitch. What ain't you having?
Yeah.
Wow, that was great. It was really good.
It was pretty good.
And the woman, to her credit, like that's a cartoon character. If we're honest, that's a cartoon character.
Right,
but she elevates it.
Yeah, she's just been working there for fucking ever. She doesn't waste anybody's time. By the way, Gil Birmingham is that Native American.
Okay, yeah, he is great.
He is. He's a really good actor.
He needs more stuff. Plain and simple, he's great in Wind River.
Well, hopefully Taylor Sheridan just keeps putting him in movies because he's awesome.
Well, I mean, you notice, and that's the thing, you watch Sicario, you watch Sicario 2, you watch Hell or High Water, and you watch Wind River, you notice he has a very specific sort of setting and sort of characters that he works with.
Right.
And I feel
they feel like real people for the most part.
They feel real, but it's also very sort of like the what is it? Like the honorable rural character. That's a lot of what it is. And it's sort of like it's like the singing the praises of like the average Joe, but not the average Joe that lives in New York or lives in LA. It's average Joe who is struggling to get by as a farmer, or
Right, like middle America.
middle America's hero.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I hope he just keeps making movies. He's good, man.
Well, it's nice to see that, because you don't see that very often.
Right. They kind of get lost in
Yeah. But I will say, after watching Sicario 2, it's like, it'd be cool if you sort of tried to branch out a little bit from your comfort zone.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you said, we talked a little bit before the podcast, you said Wind River is still your favorite.
Yeah.
That's the only one he directed, too.
Yeah.
That was his directorial debut, I
fucking
believe.
love that movie.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
It's, and I rewatched Sicario 1, and that's a great movie. I mean,
Right.
He is a very good writer.
And it's funny because he was the, second cop on Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, I never watched Sons
He's
of
the
Anarchy.
youngest. Oh, it's a good show.
That's what I heard.
He's like the little weasel cop.
Oh, he's the weasel prick.
Sure, yeah, a little bit, right.
Okay.
But yeah, it was funny because when I heard that, I'm like, that guy's like a genius screenplay writer.
Right.
But
I mean, he has a really, I think the nice thing is he has a nice way of sort of subverting expectations with the stuff that he writes.
sure, yeah, I would agree with that.
There's a character that dies near the, I don't want to spoil Hell or High Water, but there's a character that dies near the end, and I was shocked. I was shocked that character died.
I was too, even though they totally foreshadowed it earlier in the movie.
They did.
They did a little switcheroo on you, is what they did.
They foreshadowed one character's death.
Correct.
Quite heavily.
Yes.
To the point where you're like, yep, this is, and I felt dumb because I was like, man, I hope that they don't do that, because this is like the tried and true thing that you do in this cliche,
Yeah,
you build
sure.
it up. You have, this character always has these conversations before they die. Didn't go that way, and I knew the guy was a good writer, so I should have expected a switcheroo, but I didn't. So to his credit,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love that movie. Chris Pine, probably his best performance, most nuanced.
probably,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ben Foster is always awesome. He was, if you've ever seen 3:10 to Yuma with Russell
I haven't.
Crowe.
I heard that's a great movie.
Oh, it's fucking great. And he plays the badass sidekick to Russell Crowe's character who will burn people alive and shit.
Oh.
And he's a badass in that. I really like him.
I found his character to be tremendously unlikable.
See, I liked him.
I thought
I liked him.
but I thought it was by design, because I've met people like that. He's real. He's a real dude.
Yeah, he's a real obnoxious guy.
Yeah.
Who's the opposite of his brother.
Yes. But yeah, that's a great movie. I'm glad I saw it. It's kind of like you with her. Sad that it took me over a year to see it.
Right.
But it was really good.
Well, there's going to be those.
Yeah. But what else did you see this?
Well, speaking of a great movie, I had the opportunity to go see Jaws in the theater.
Fantastic.
This weekend. And Jesus Christ.
Yep.
It's almost perfect.
Yep.
I mean, it's a perfect example of the limitations as far as technology lending itself, working to your favor, working in your favor, because the fact that you don't see the shark in a lot of these scenes where it's just the camera's right there at the water line.
Yes.
And you see their feet kind of
Yep.
dangling underneath, and you've got them above water and it's kind of
Yep.
bobbing up and down. There's just something so suspenseful about that.
It's genius. I mean, it is the, what do they call it? They call it the father of the modern day blockbuster.
Yeah, 1975. It had lines going around the block.
Yes.
Prior to Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's great. And Robert Shaw might give one of the best performances ever, in my opinion. There's a scene where he gives a monologue. Basically, they're kind of dicking around, joking around down there, being dudes, having a few drinks or whatever. And Richard Dreyfuss, who's also fantastic. Everybody in it's good.
Everybody's great.
Yeah, so they're kind of they're swapping stories about scars they have.
Yeah.
And Richard Dreyfuss points to his chest and says, "Mary whatever broke my heart." And it's a big laugh. And then, it's a jokey scene, and then they cut to Robert Shaw and they ask him about the scar on his arm, and he goes into this whole story about being on the USS Indianapolis, which was a real ship that got sank by the Japanese.
Okay.
And it's like a little 5-minute monologue of
Right.
just him, and it's like it's mesmerizing.
Right.
How good he delivers the whole thing. And like you feel like the two characters in the room watching it. You feel like you're sitting there with the guys.
Right. Yeah, Quinn is one of the greatest
he's
cinematic characters.
He's
like, ever.
He's amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And the other funny thing is it's PG.
Is it really?
Jaws is rated PG.
They had a
regardless of the tits at the beginning or the
They had a different rating standard back
then.
then.
So how soft has America gotten?
We have gotten pretty soft.
Yeah, PG. I was like, when I left, I'm like, because people had their families, you know, like there were a couple families in the theater. And, you know, I don't have a problem with that because I'm sure these people were like, you know, 13 when they saw Jaws. Right. So they see that it's playing. They're like, oh, let's, you know, 4th of July, we got the family in town. Let's go see Jaws.
Yeah, I believe another one that is kind of strange is Gremlins is PG.
That shouldn't be PG either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
there's some pretty gory, like...
There's some gory shit in there.
I hadn't seen Jaws in a while.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah. It's a great movie.
Like, it's got, like, the mayor who... No, the beaches need to be open.
Yep.
Like, it has all that shit that nowadays is done so often and in such a way, like these typecast, like, archetypical characters.
Right. Well, it kind of created sort of the blueprint, like the modern day blueprint for a lot of that shit.
I would suppose it did. Yeah.
Kind of like Die Hard sort of did for the modern action blockbuster.
Right.
To the point where I had a friend, I suggested Die Hard to a friend who had never seen it, and he was like, I don't know, it was kind of boring, it's kind of cliche. I'm like, you're wrong.
And then you're not friends with him anymore?
Well, we just haven't talked movies since then.
Yeah, that'll get irritating.
Yeah.
I had a buddy who told me he tried to watch Jaws and he couldn't, like, it's just too slow.
Really?
Which I
mean, I get it. Movies from the 70s are slow. Like they're much slower than what they are now.
It's only slow if you don't care about like characters.
Yeah.
And, right. Like it's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And the movie would have been ruined if the mechanical shark that they had would have worked.
Right.
That's the fact. The most interesting shit is just, is it down there?
Yeah.
Is it, you know?
Well, and that's why I feel like you said, you know, technological limitations really create interesting situations because the fact that you really don't see the shark until the very, very end.
Yeah, you see bits. Yeah, right.
You've built up to that moment. So when you see it,
correct,
you have all this built up tension towards the thing, and it could have disappointed, but the fact that it didn't when you actually saw it really goes a long way. And it looks
pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it looks fine. I don't have a problem with how it looks.
Yeah.
They must have used like a miniature, or they must have used like a real shark. They must have done something, and I'm interested to look it up.
Okay,
but. There's a scene where Richard Dreyfuss goes down in the cage and the shark comes and like attacks the cage.
Oh, okay.
There's no fucking way that was that mechanical shark. I have to say, because I'm sitting there like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
but yeah, that is fucking great movie.
So
if you've never seen Jaws, by the way, I don't give a shit what kind of movies you like or dislike. It's a classic. It has to be seen.
Yeah.
If you love movies.
I feel like you should see it. Just do yourself a favor.
Right.
Just see it.
Right.
You're just going to be more well-rounded as a film fan if you see it.
It might be like the quintessential monster movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as scary as the whatever Rex from Jurassic Park, but it's right up there.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as scary as that.
Although it is funny, this was a movie where like I think I jumped 3 times in the theater.
Really?
And I've seen Jaws.
Right.
But like there's a couple little like jump scares in it where the girlfriend didn't jump. But probably the first time that's ever happened.
Wow.
Although I might be more invested in the movie. It's kind of a dude movie.
It is.
I
mean, how many female characters actually like have like speaking lines in it? Isn't it like I forget his name's the wife?
So there's Roy Scheider's wife.
Yeah.
And then there's one character who, like, somebody makes a joke like, can we get that reward in a check for 3,000 or whatever if we get the shark? And there's one lady who's like, that's just not funny at all. and then there's the woman. Great scene. I love, you know me, I'm I get
You're
duped by a
scene
good
guy.
scene. I'm a scene guy.
Yep.
So the first character that gets killed is the woman right at the beginning, skinny dipping.
Yeah.
She gets killed. And then like the chief wants to close the beaches. The town talks him out of it.
Yep.
They open the beaches, and then a little kid gets killed on a raft. And there's a scene where the mom of the little kid confronts the chief to say basically like, look,
I forgot about this scene.
you knew, like, I just heard that you knew that this shark was out there and you didn't do anything about it, and slaps him. Just fucking great.
Yeah. It's good stuff. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of cast women in sort of the stereotypical roles of mothers or wives.
Well, I mean, shit, you're on her side. So,
Right.
You know, and he kind of says, you know, somebody's like, it's not your fault. And he's like, yeah, it is my fault. Like, I'll take that slap to the face any day. Yeah.
Good.
But it's a dude movie because it's like, oh, you know, we're going to catch you.
Yeah,
right.
We're gonna go out on the boat, going fishing. Yeah. It's very much a guy movie.
But yeah, everybody in it's great. It's a must see. One of the classic American films.
Yep. Yeah, go see it. Or go rent it, I guess.
It's a 4th of July movie. So 4th of July is this week.
So
No excuse
maybe
not to
check
see
your
it.
local listings.
Yeah, maybe it's on.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies you'd think would be on, like, quite a bit.
I would hope so.
I've probably seen it more. It's like Shawshank, where I've seen it more like in bits.
Right.
You know, I've probably only sat and watched the whole thing a few times.
I have only seen it twice, actually.
Well, it sounds like you might be in for
I'm
a
in
Jaws
for a viewing.
rewatch.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually got to study it once for one of my film classes. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
What else? What else do we got though? Was there anything else that we saw?
I saw American Animals.
Okay.
This is my surprise of the year. And I think you, Alex, should go see this.
Okay.
So this was a movie apparently produced by MoviePass.
Okay.
Have you even heard of this?
No.
Okay. So this movie is basically, it's about these college students.
Okay.
And they decide to, basically they're kind of like, you know, we're only going to college because people told us this is what we do in life.
Right.
You know, like, do you really want to do this? Like, what, you know, life isn't exciting, whatever.
Right.
Don't you want to do something?
Right.
And this is a true story, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So these two, it starts with two college kids. One of them is played by Evan Peters, who was Quicksilver. Yep.
Right.
And then the other one is Barry, and I'm going to butcher his name, Keoghan. He was in The Killing of a Sacred Deer. He's kind of a weird looking guy. He looks tired all the time.
You got a picture?
Yeah, I do, actually. I can pull a picture up of him. But, yeah. So
Yeah.
basically,
I've seen that guy.
yeah, he looks tired to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the premise is they decide there's one of them goes to Transylvania University, it's called. It's in Kentucky. And there is a sectioned off section of the library there for these rare books. And apparently one of these books is worth $12 million. It's like one of the most expensive books in the world, okay?
Okay.
So his friend, who's the Quicksilver guy, says, when he tells him about this, he says, "Oh yeah, we gotta try and steal these books."
All right.
It is it's amazing, dude. I loved it.
Was it suspenseful, comedic?
Yes. It was suspenseful. It was comedic. It was dramatic. It made me feel feelings. They were doing.
Me feel
well, no,
feelings?
Okay. So there's a lot of regret in the movie. There's a lot of shame for these characters and the things that they're doing to do this. I don't want to spoil it for you.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to do a spoiler section on this. But one neat thing is it's a true story. And throughout the movie, they are putting interviews. It ends up being four people in on this heist.
Okay.
And they are putting in interviews with the real four people.
All right.
During the movie. So they're kind of sharing bits they thought of other people that were in this crew of 4.
Okay.
And like, yeah, we don't know if he's telling the truth about this. So you'll see like different versions of events.
This is reminding me of I, Tonya.
Yeah, kind of. Sure. Yeah.
Which I really liked. So
Yes, I would highly recommend this movie.
is it ranking in like the top movies of the year so far?
It's the biggest surprise of the year. So in that, it felt like I left the theater more excited about it than I have been for, since Hereditary.
Okay.
And, there's movies like that, but yeah, sure, it's top 5, top 10. I don't know. I'd have to look at a list, but to me, it's a must see because it's different. It's because the heist is happening, and typically your heist movies are like these slick things, and you've got these like meetings and shit, and like that kind of stuff is all there, like with the blueprints and
right,
the plan hatching. But their plan is so asinine and they're so dumb that it feels real. It's like if you and a few of your buddies decided to try and do this.
So are you saying I'm not smart enough to pull this off?
I don't think you could pull it off.
Because here's the thing, I'm really rich. I'm just doing this podcast for fun.
Yeah, well, I would highly recommend it. Another standout performance in it, or someone who I liked in it, was Ann Dowd. She is the friend in Hereditary with the Ouija board. She plays the librarian in this, who's like guarding, quote unquote, the books.
Okay.
She was in The Leftovers, Hereditary. Yeah, really good. Really good. Highly, highly, highly recommend it.
Okay.
And not just because I want MoviePass to make some money.
You know what's one of the greatest things that's happened to me? Mark Maron.
Okay, you watched Glow.
I started watching Glow. 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes into the episode. He's had like 3 lines, and I'm like, fuck. Mark Maron should be.
He's funny.
He's fucking great. He's one of. How he doesn't have more acting gigs is beyond me, because he's fucking great. But yeah, that show is just good. And I don't even think it's not even like a chick show. It's just fun.
I started it on an airplane.
Okay.
I need to watch it because I did like what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 1 was really good. Season 2 has started pretty good too. I mean, it seems like it's just staying the same level of quality, but Mark Maron, fucking the piece de resistance.
He's the best part of the show.
He's so great.
All right.
He's great.
I'm going to have to watch it. One of these days we should have a conversation about how these streaming services are just killing
their shows
as far as TV series are concerned.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, it's getting to the point now where it's like, who watches just regular broadcasting?
Right. I know. It's crazy.
I know I don't. I haven't for years.
Yeah. There's not many. The last NBC, ABC, Fox show I watched, I think, was 24.
It feels like they survive off of one, like This Is Us. They survive off of
This Is Us, damn it.
Right.
There's one, yeah.
But I don't watch anything on regular TV.
I watch This Is Us. I know my folks love that New Kiefer show, Designated Survivor, or whatever, where he's like the president, or he was like the housing and urban development guy, and everyone got killed who was above him in the succession of the president. So it's like thrown into
right. It feels like it's hitting the same demographic as like 24 would.
Yeah, they tried. It didn't work with me. I started it. It didn't work.
Well, it doesn't have Kiefer Sutherland, so
it does have Kiefer Sutherland.
Does it? Is he the dude?
He's the guy. Is he the cyber? He's good. He's always good, but it's not good.
Oh my God, that's fucking great. I had no idea he was the lone survivor.
Well, and I think last season I saw an ad during football season or something where they brought in one of his 24 love interests onto the show.
Really?
Too,
so it's like a weird meta.
Jesus Christ.
That's fantastic. You're not Deadpool. You can't pull off. Well, Deadpool can't pull off the meta stuff anymore either. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I'll never watch that show.
Right.
But hey, if they want to bring Bauer back to 24, please just fucking. Actually, I know that show's super successful. It pisses me off, that Designated Survivor.
Right.
It's like one of their the biggest shows.
Right.
And it's just like, no, you need to just.
It's got politics,
It has
man.
to fail so that he can come back and be Jack Bauer again. The fucking Russians have Jack Bauer, and I want to know what happened to Jack Bauer. God damn it.
Just like every other fan of a failed TV show.
It's bullshit.
It's
you
not,
can end it with some. End it with closure, you know.
All right. You didn't like the Sopranos ending?
I was told to stop watching. It was so bad. So I took that advice. I never saw the ending.
Oh, okay.
But I know that it was like a fade to black thing
Yeah.
that people were pissed about.
Yep.
But yeah. All right. Tangent.
Tangent, yeah. So I'm not going to spend much time on this because I am going to make a video about this movie. It was so fucking great. I saw... Jackson lent this to me a few weeks ago. This is from the same guys who directed The Endless and Resolution. And this one is called Spring. And
It's fucking great.
it's fucking great. What are their names? What are the two directors' names?
That would be Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson.
All right, Aaron, Justin, fucking love you guys. This shit is great.
They rule, dude.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to go out and watch all their movies.
Yeah.
All three of them. I still got to see the bit they did in the VHS movie or whatever.
Oh, right.
I want to
yeah.
see it. I'm sure it's entertaining.
It's based on what I've seen. There's no way that it's any less than pretty damn good.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Spring.
I mean, it's a modern day twist on Beauty and the Beast, but not in a tradition. Like it's not. It is, but it's not.
Right.
It's a romance, but it's also a little bit of a horror and suspense.
Well, it's kind of neat that like. What do you want to do with spoilers?
I don't want to spoil anything because I want people to see this movie. This movie is great.
Okay. Yeah, it is. It's really good.
It's really,
So do you think
really
it's
good.
better than The Endless?
God.
It's funny because all three of their movies so far, I feel like are like hovering right there, and they're just different enough where it's
Right.
hard to like this one to me was the most different because the other two kind of had the same couple of the same character. This one's the outlier.
This is the outlier, and this is the one that I felt had the biggest heart, and the characters had probably the romance in it. The characters have a real chemistry, like it's really, really good.
I wrote a review for this up on the website.
Okay.
And I said, like, it's one of the better romances I've seen in a while. I believe I wrote that in there, but that's what struck me.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't realize I was going to be watching like a real love story.
Right.
And it's funny to me that this is the genre in the movie that this comes in.
Yeah.
Because it's better than any of the fucking typical romantic bullshit that you see. You know what I'm saying?
I thought about it for a while, and I'm like, the reason it's so good is that you have both characters are tremendously fleshed out, and they feel real.
Yes, and very likable.
And very and both are very likable. It's
Right.
not like what was that John Krasinski one that I said was terrible. I don't remember.
Oh, with
Robin
with
Williams
Mandy Moore.
and Mandy Moore.
License to Wed.
Yeah. It's not like that where you have one character that's just like an asshole or a bitch. You know, like they're both great.
Yes, they're both great, and they're not great because they're the same.
No, they're
Like,
vastly,
especially towards the end of the movie, there's a conflict that arises.
Yeah.
Where
great ticking clock near the end.
it's
Amazing.
unbelievable. Yeah, it's amazing.
The tension that new information creates is fantastic.
Yes.
The way that they wrote the film too, as far as like the character dialogue, is superb. It feels real.
Oh, I thought it was amazing. As every aspect of the movie is done very well.
Yeah.
So
I don't. You might not remember this shot, but there's a shot where I was like, holy shit! I know that this is a lower budget film, but wow, that was an impressive shot. It's where there's a kill that happens, and you're following the trail of blood, and it goes up to a wall, and then it just flies out.
drone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just shocked me. I had to rewind. I was like, "What the fuck is this?
It's
Is
a
it a
drone.
crane?
It's a drone.
But it's so smooth.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's really
there's a
good.
there's a lot of drone shit in it. There was one thing I noticed too is that there's a lot of shots. There's a lot of shots where like, you know, it feels like they were walking around and they were like, oh, look at that spider web with that bug right there.
Yep,
We got to get
perfect.
a shot of this.
Well, yeah, and
You know what I'm saying?
And the best thing is like they got a shot of it and it fits for like the motif of the movie.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
And even the special effects, like for a lower budget movie,
The transformation.
the transformations, some of the shots that are CGI, like I'm not going to say what they are, but you know what I'm
Yes.
talking about. And I was like, great, really, really good shit. Like this, I was blown away.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's really good. It's real. I'm buying this movie. It's
Oh,
so
wow.
fucking good. It's so fucking good. And I've become a lot more picky in recent years about
Buying. And then there's me who just like, oh, I see a movie, I buy it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you owned Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I don't. I refuse to purchase those. I will not purchase
about the
any
bargain
Spider-Man.
bin?
There was like a 4K re-release of 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And then Amazing 1 and 2. And I was like, no, I can't buy that.
Yeah. Fuck you, Mark Webb.
Yeah.
You had the perfect name for these movies and you fucked it up.
Yep, right. But yeah, spring. Are we to the main event yet?
Yeah, I think we're to Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado.
Sicario 2. So premise? You want to go with the premise this time, or?
All right, so I'll try and make this a little bit more coherent than my Jurassic World one. So you've got basically it starts out there are people trying to cross the Mexican border. If you haven't seen Sicario 1, I'm afraid you're going to be a little lost with this story, at least for a little while. But basically, there's a
But you wouldn't be lost if you saw this movie, I don't think.
No, you eventually will get caught up to speed, but it'll take you a little bit longer. But basically, there's new forms of terrorism. We think that they're coming from Mexico. And basically, they bring in the U.S. government. It's like, well, we're going to do something about this terrorism, and we believe that they're tied to the Mexican cartels. So we're going to redefine what the Mexican cartels are. We're now going to classify them as terrorists, and we're going to bring in Josh Brolin, who he works for the government, but he's not officially a government employee. He's kind of like a consultant.
He's a specialist.
He's a specialist.
Right.
And basically his specialty is going in and creating basically bad situations. Like in the first movie, he made things worse for the Mexican cartels, so they started fighting amongst themselves rather than coming up to the United States and making things worse. That's the basic premise of Sicario 1. Here, he's basically trying to create another war between the cartels. So their goal is, all right, so we've got the big one. Let's kidnap the daughter, make it look like one of the other cartels did it, and that will create new problems for them down there. And then you've got Benicio del Toro, who is his buddy from the first movie. He's also a consultant or specialist.
He's an assassin.
He's an assassin. Yeah, he's an assassin.
He's the Sicario.
Yeah. And they go down there and, they do that. They take the daughter. Doesn't exactly go as planned.
Right, I was going to say, and everyone lives happily ever after.
Things become, I would say, unquestionably worse than they were before.
Yes.
And everybody is kind of put in a worse situation, especially Benicio del Toro, but that's going to get into spoilers. But that's sort of the basic premise.
Yeah. And what'd you think?
I thought it was tremendously boring.
Okay.
It was fine. Like we were talking about Tyler Sheridan. He's a great writer, but you said it in your Insta note.
That's Taylor.
Oh, sorry, Taylor.
And I better be right that it's Taylor, otherwise I'm really thinking asshole. But I believe it's Taylor.
Oh my God, I just love the idea of looking on my phone right now and finding out if you're right or wrong. But I'm not going to. That'll be some nice suspense.
Let the fans look.
Let the fans decide who's right.
Poll on Facebook. Is it Taylor or Tyler? Nobody will cheat on that poll.
Right.
But yeah, no, you're saying it's boring.
It's boring. You said on your Insta annoyed that it's easily his worst work. I would completely agree with that.
Like even from a writing perspective.
From a writing perspective, it's his worst because
now I think I have a feeling that a lot of his work got destroyed in this though. I feel like there's some choppiness and some messing with the editing that just feels like shoddy workmanship to me.
Okay.
Like I probably like this better than you from a story, and I wasn't bored.
Okay.
I wasn't bored at all. I thought it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. But there were things that just like, I'm sorry, like just kind of broke it for me. Like there's a couple scenes, and people who watch a lot of movies will know what I'm saying, but there's time jumps where it's like, well, wait a minute, in this shot it was night out.
Yeah.
And in this shot it's day.
Yeah.
And you're trying to act like this is like the same scene.
Yeah.
And then there's There's one at the beginning where this probably was written into the script,
Yeah.
but there's a shocking, I'd say shocking moment right at the beginning where
Oh, are you talking? Well, I explained it. The terrorist attacks.
yes, so one of the terrorist attacks, there's basically something that happens within that attack that to me is like, that's not how a real person would act.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that kind of shit, maybe that's in his screenplay, whatever. But even just the beginning of the movie, without going into spoilers, it's one of those movies that remind me of like a Transformers movie, how a Transformers movie would start, where it's
jumping
like,
around.
yeah, you're jumping. First, you're on the border,
Yep.
and then you're in Kansas City, and then you're in Somalia,
Yeah.
and then you're back to the border.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ, let me settle down for 2 seconds and get into this fucking
Right.
movie.
Well, it's like we have such a complex situation, and it's like, I really wish that you guys would have tightened this up in the script and found a way to sort of incorporate all of this information into a more interesting and maybe localized scene where it takes place in one area and we can get all the information, but it's not boring.
Well, as an example, and it's the first like few minutes of the movie and nothing huge happens, so I'm going to go ahead and say it pre-spoilers, but
Right.
there's an interrogation scene at the beginning.
Yeah,
like
that was-
one in Somalia.
That was kind of boring.
See, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was fucking awesome.
Well, it was just a recreation of the first scene or the interrogation scene in the first film, but just way more boring because if you've seen one, you already know Josh Brolin's character.
Well, that's what I mean, but the character's awesome in that he is not bluffing. Mm-hmm. He will fucking do. You're reestablishing that this guy's a badass and he's going to do whatever it takes.
You say
know,
badass, I would say borderline a monster.
Well, whatever. I guess what? You need monsters.
Oh, yeah. No,
That's
I'm not,
the point.
Yep.
That's the point of this movie, in a sense, is that none of these, there's no heroes in this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for that, I like this movie a lot. I like the fact that it has balls and it's willing to deal with subject matter that some people might cringe and find offensive, the way that it's portrayed.
Well, it's
And
sort
it
of-
goes out there and fucking does it.
It's sort of interesting in that, like, yeah, I sort of see what you're saying because it's very, very topical. It's
Timely.
It's
It's
very
timely.
timely.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if so I saw it and I'm like, oh boy, we are really leaning into sort of the Trump rhetoric about this whole situation. And then by the end of the movie, it's not so clear that they're leaning into the Trump rhetoric.
Well, I don't see it that way. Like, why is it the Trump rhetoric?
Well,
I mean, clearly this kind of shit does happen.
Well, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's sort of his baby. It's sort of the way that he's portraying it.
It's his point that
Right.
this does happen, sure. But I'm sorry, people don't get to just go to the fucking movies and see what they want to see all the time.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to be shown the other side of the coin. Mm-hmm. And people go out there after the movie. I went and read IGN's review of this.
Okay.
Go read it. Tell me if that fucker should even be allowed to give a review on this movie.
Oh, did he let politics
The
get into it?
first paragraph. Oh, they don't bring up the wall. They don't bring up the, it's
Like
like,
this is a different. Like I don't think Trump is the president in this universe.
exactly. Like whoever wrote this, like they probably have consultants for like, you
Yeah.
know, cartels and all this shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I thought the plot was great.
I think one of my favorite things about it is that it doesn't sugarcoat it. Like you're saying, like these things exist.
Exactly.
The cartels exist. Bad people exist. You can't just let your political. It's not just good people who are trying to come across the border.
Right.
Like we can't just pretend like
Well,
that's
and the movie
case.
doesn't act like it's all bad people.
It doesn't.
No.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
I feel like it starts out like that's what I was saying. It starts out
Yeah.
feeling like it might lean a little too far into like it's all bad people.
Right.
But it isn't. It goes very nuanced, and that was something I appreciated, even though the message I feel like the message of the movie is that when you deal with international politics, even if you have good intentions, things can become tremendously messy. And it's often the children who end up being
Getting fucked. Yeah.
Yes. And I found that like amazingly appropriate for what's going on.
That was interesting because there's two children in
There's
the movie.
two children, and
essentially,
they
and they
mirror-
both have different.
Yes. And I found that maybe the best thing about the movie, because they really highlight it near the end by focusing on what happens. Well, no, they focus on both the kids at the end.
That was like the whole thing. My problems with this movie are all, to me, on a technical level.
Yeah.
As far as like, I felt like it was messy at times, like
Yes.
what was going on.
Some of the action sequences were pretty good, though.
Oh God, yeah. Well, and it's funny because I forget who said it, and it's true. It's like the action movies in these, or the action scenes in these movies aren't these like exciting. No, they're like, holy shit. Like you feel it's intense because it's not fun action.
It's got a little bit of the I almost want to say like wish fulfillment for like the Call of Duty generation, because you see some of the things and you're like, there's a character who I'm not going to say who, but they throw a grenade into a car. And that's sort of the badass thing that they do, because the people in the car, they're both driving, and the people in the car are trying to shoot him. And they don't know he has a grenade, and he just, boom, drops it in. And
that's a very Call of Duty-esque. Oh, yeah, fuck yeah.
It does. Yeah. It feels very Call of Duty-esque. And I'm like, I get why people would like this. I also don't think it makes the film good. Like, it's a moment where you're like, that's cool.
I loved it. I loved that scene.
I liked it. I liked that they did it in one shot. That was maybe my favorite
that's true.
bit.
That's true. That was neat.
But other scenes where like the kidnapping of the girl, like that we established, that was fine. It was very standard. It wasn't very exciting to me.
Yeah, that was the least the standout action scene. I mean, first off, we should get into spoilers.
Yeah, sure. Here. I mean, we both sort of gave our general thoughts.
So Alex thought it was pretty boring.
It's fine enough, I guess. I don't know. It's boring.
I thought it was good, but from a technical level, it's just not the Denis Villeneuve movie.
I do want to say one more thing, which is my main problem is that the reason it's so boring is that it takes us so long to get into any sort of character work. The first half an hour, 45 minutes sets up the world situation.
Oh God, like the Matthew Modine playing the Secretary of Defense or whatever. That shit was like TV series bad.
It felt like a TV episode, and that was just boring because it was just like, I get it. Like, we're going to get into this situation, and they just didn't do anything to reattach you to the characters in an interesting way.
No, they did later with Benicio.
They did later with Benicio. But also I was like, but this is information I know from the first one.
True.
So I'm like, it's not it's not a new wrinkle to his character.
Yeah, I need to watch the first one again because I'm assuming where you're going with this as far as what info you knew from the first one, but I don't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it's true. The first, I would give it like a B-. Overall,
I'd probably give it a
C+.
I'd probably give it a C-, D+.
Oh, yeah, see, so I'm.
I wasn't pissed. No. I mean, I will say this though, and this is unfair, but I started getting a headache near the end of the movie. And that might be because the last time I got a headache in a movie, it was super boring, which was X-Men Apocalypse. So I don't know.
So you don't know if you blame the boredom on the headache or the headache on the boredom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's the chicken. Good you bring that up though, because that's they're getting the whole picture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just feels. But I mean, I think objectively, I can say the things that I brought up are objectively wrong with the film.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Well, so spoilers.
Yeah.
The action scene where they are going to return the girl.
Yeah.
Was fucking great, in my opinion. When the Federales turn around.
I'm trying to remember it.
They're driving into Mexico, and they get on a dirt road, so they can't see shit. And then the Mexican feds turn on them.
Yes.
That was a good gunfight. Like I said, they're not fun action scenes.
They're more realistic than anything else.
They're very intense. But yeah, I'm with you. My least favorite action scene was probably them getting the girl. I also thought it was pretty dumb, the one like that they show in the trailer where Benicio like takes his mask off and shoots the lawyer guy or I wasn't that didn't really do it for me either, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what broke that scene for me was seeing the people in the background. Because I wasn't really interested in what was happening, so I started watching the back, which is not a good thing.
Okay.
But the cars in the background, nobody is freaking out. If you guys see this movie, watch the background.
Well, it's Mexico. This is just every day in Mexico.
I'm nuts. This was a really nice neighborhood. This was like the business district.
Yeah, they were in Mexico in that scene, right?
I believe so.
It wasn't like L.A. or something, was it?
Yeah,
No,
I believe it was Mexico. Yeah. But they were in a very, very, very nice area. And
yeah, like the daughter's going to private school. Like
yeah.
It's not, you're not just seeing like the dirty, poor, outskirts of Mexico. You see some skyscrapers and it's,
Yeah, they're in a very, so just to see like the cars driving as if nothing's happening and to see people walking on the sidewalk across the street from where this is happening and they're not freaking out or ducking, that was weird and took me way out of the movie. And that's pretty early on. So, I mean, that was just, that compounded the boredom.
Well, even earlier on, what I already touched on was that suicide bomber scene.
Yes.
So the scene right at the beginning, they have this awful scene of like a terrible terrorist attack in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And there's this, like one of the bombs goes off. They're in like a Walgreens or a supermarket or something. Yeah. So one of the bombs goes off. And then another bomber's like sitting there freaking out, like breathing heavily.
Right.
And a mom with her daughter, I believe it was a daughter, walks up to the terrorist and is like, you don't need to do this. And then boom, they get blown up. Now, you are, first of all, Mother of the Year. And secondly, I'm sorry, but no, you would never do that.
Not when you have a child. But
period.
Well, yeah.
Period.
Actually, yeah.
Period. You would never be like, I can do, he's got a lifetime of like indoctrination into whatever hateful, shit. All it's going to take is, Now, I'm going to be a little fair to the movie, which is I don't want to do, but I believe the idea was that she was trying to get out of the supermarket because he's right at the front door. Okay, I thought of that.
And I still think, even if that's her goal, it's fucking dumb.
There's an exit in the back somewhere. Yeah, right. You see the bomber. You would go towards the front door to get out. Yeah. And when you saw the bomber, you'd go, oh, shit, never mind.
Well, I got
to run this way.
You just go away from the bomber because he's the only one who hasn't blown up.
Correct. Or if you do want to make it out the door, you'd just fucking run. You'd grab your kid and you'd just run. You wouldn't stop and be like, oh, did you try the Oreos in aisle 5? Like, what the fuck was that? So that took me out of the movie immediately. Yeah. Right off the bat. So big F on that
Which is
scene.
Too bad because you see the beginning of that scene and it's actually quite horrifying.
Oh, it's fucking, it's intense. It's one of the... One of the most like realistic looking like suicide bomber scenes I've seen. And you could have just shown that he was walking down the aisle and he blew himself up and the daughter and
just cut that bit of that scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cuz I didn't know he was a terrorist dude until they really sort of like panned over with her walking towards him. They could have just not even gotten to the mother.
Right, it's true.
So it was really bad. Like who's in the editing bay with the editor and being like, that's a great decision.
It's almost like they made Taylor Sheridan write a script and he tried to put like something shocking.
That's what I was going to say is that I feel like his heart wasn't in this one. Because in the first Sicario, you follow Emily Blunt's character and she's your protagonist and she's got an arc. Josh Brolin doesn't really have an arc.
No, but he's not a character that's like representative of having an arc. He's kind of just the player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He's not meant to have an arc.
He does in this one though.
He does, did
you believe it though? Did you like at the end? Did it make sense?
No, it really didn't quite make sense because it's and that's the problem is like I felt like there were certain shots like at the end of the movie where they show the kids and they focus on the kids and how her being kidnapped and seeing Benicio die affected her and how she's super scarred. And then they focus on Josh Brolin and the way he looks at her. And then they focus on the kid and how he's become like a real gangbanger, piece of shit. And I got it. I got the message there. But with him, I'm like, he almost looks disgusted at the kid, at her, like in the chopper. And he almost says like, I don't know what he almost says, but it was a little unclear exactly.
Well, and to your point earlier, like, our discussion regarding, you need monsters to fight monsters or whatever to fight this, Doesn't this kind of fly in that, like, doesn't it kind of defeat the purpose of that? If Josh Brolin is going to turn into like
good man.
Yeah. Isn't that not the message of your movie? Like, isn't your movie about like basically like you can't be this like untouched angel? I find if you're going to work in this gritty, awful environment, then you're hardened and you're a badass.
I find it a little weird too. We talk about active protagonists, and I think Josh Brolin is the closest thing we have to a protagonist in this movie. Because I don't really think that Benicio... I think that's the other thing, is there's no real clear protagonist, because Benicio doesn't show up until like 40 minutes into the movie.
He's got Anakin Skywalker syndrome.
Yeah.
Where he's like... I think he is the protagonist. Him and the little girl, to me, are a dual
I suppose. It's really tough, because you always define your protagonist as the one who has the goal, and they're the one who has the arc, and they're the one who goes on the journey.
Right.
And Josh Brolin goes on a journey... Benicio, I don't know if he kind of, he goes on he goes on a physical journey, but the way he interacts with the girl, like becoming like a surrogate father kind of thing and like being protective, I'm like, but it seems like you were willing to do this like right off, like immediately when you met her. So it's not like you grew to like this girl. It just seemed like this is how you were going to handle it.
So you have you're supposed to believe that he would kill a child if it was.
Well, and
you know what I'm saying?
And he would, because he did in the first film.
Yeah.
And by the way, loved that scene in the first one. Like that movie is just great.
I got to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in a while.
It's really good.
And I think that hurts this movie too.
Yeah.
To be honest, is you had like it was like a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
And then you followed it up with a movie that's just not nearly on the same level, in my opinion.
I mean, it's better than going from Taken 1 to Taken 2. Like, it's not that kind of level of drop.
See, I haven't seen 2.
Oh, Taken 2 is terrible.
Yeah, I'd imagine. No, it's a real movie.
Yeah,
it's a real movie.
It's a real movie. It's just a little. I say it all the time. It's broken. It's broken on a script level.
I think. See, I feel like something fucking happened here. Mm-hmm. There's a disconnect somewhere.
Well, I do feel... Well, yeah, I mean, you never know what happens.
Right.
But I do feel like he didn't quite know what to do with these characters. Because he had a clear arc for them in the first one. And he had a clear way of divulging the information about who these characters are and how they operate.
Sure.
And that's why the first one is so great. As the movie goes, you learn about Josh Brolin, and he's not really who you thought he was. And Benicio.
Yeah, the you've seen the wizard now.
Yeah,
the wizard has been revealed to be,
and so now there are no revelations for this film to have.
It's true. There's like a cheap. Like the only shocking moment as far as like something like, I'm surprised. The only surprising moment to me was cheap, which was Benicio being shot in the face.
Yes.
And then being alive.
Yeah.
And then walking for 30 seconds and somehow catching up to the chase scene that's been going on since it's been dark out.
Yeah.
Somehow he's bleeding to death, and he gets up and he takes 4 steps. The camera cuts to a new shot, and he's like at the cars that were... It boggled my mind watching it.
Just kind of breaks the realism that you've established in your film.
It was terrible.
It's
and I wouldn't have kill the character.
Yeah. Would have been cool to see what Josh Brolin would do in a situation like that.
Imagine if you killed the character. You just kill the character and end the movie right there.
Yeah. Well,
Sicario 3 is coming. See what happens. I mean, I don't know. Just whatever.
Well, that's the thing is I don't quite know how you save this because, like I said, like Benicio doesn't show up until 40 minutes into the movie. He doesn't even get a great introduction, you know. Though I do like the note that Josh Brolin had on his door.
Was good.
That was pretty good.
Well, I like their kind of friendship, quote unquote.
Yeah,
respect, mutual respect.
Yep.
Now, what's going to be interesting is I think they kind of set it up well for a third movie.
Do you think it's going to be Brolin versus Benicio?
So I was thinking about that. I'm not sure because Brolin, he didn't save Benicio.
Yeah.
But he didn't kill the little girl.
Yep.
So...
And he didn't kill Benicio like he was told to.
Yeah, and then you have... So the movie ends with one of the characters, like... This is interesting too, spoiler related. So the Mexican daughter of the drug cartel boss is like the good kid, I would say. And then the American Hispanic kid...
Is the bad kid.
Is the gang member.
Yeah.
Like cartel drug... Like he's a... trafficker of human trafficking. Like he helps,
people cross the border.
People cross the border. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like, let's have the American kid be the one who's questionable in his moral, judgment.
I liked that he started out he seemed apprehensive about it. That was kind of nice. Like he just didn't start out like, yeah.
Right. Well, and that shows at the end because it's almost like the kid saved Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Although, wouldn't these fucking bad guys check to see if he was dead? I'm sorry.
I don't know. They didn't seem like they were running exactly a great operation.
True.
So,
but yeah, he shoots Benicio in the face, the side of the cheek.
And he's walking around after it, thinking that he's like this hard man now. He comes back, he's got the tats.
Okay, but hold on a second. He kind of wasn't taking kindly to all the other kids being like, oh yeah, you're a badass. He kind of like hops out of the truck, says, fuck you guys.
Right, he's got a conscience. He's a multifaceted character.
I think where you go with this is like, you don't have the kid be bad. I think the kid's going to be good or this universe's version of good, I should say.
Right.
Which is like morally fucking
a little
monster.
Yeah, a little bit more light than dark.
Right. Sure.
But I mean, yeah. How did you like that scene? I'm talking about an action scene. How did you like that scene where the helicopters are chasing the cars?
The end.
Yeah, the end scene.
It was fine.
It seemed a little weird to me. Like it felt almost unbelievable.
My problem with that scene is you have made me like okay, it's dark out and Brolin's like, we're 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a car chase happening.
And it's
like
day.
Bright as fuck outside.
Yeah.
And I that whole last section of the movie to me was just broken. Because I have no concept of how far they've gone.
Right.
I have no concept of how long this chase is.
Yeah.
I don't know how long Benicio's been laid out there because when they showed him and it was light out, I'm like, oh shit, he's been there all night.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking like, well, wait a minute. When he walks for 3 seconds and gets to the fucking cars, I'm thinking, oh, he was probably only down for like a few minutes.
Well, and that's the other thing that I have a problem with the script in that this is one of the weaker ones in that he does like a lot of mission intel stuff. So there might have been stuff like, oh, it's 3 or 4 in the morning. The sun's about to come up. But we don't know that because it's just lost in all of the mission jargon that's going on.
Well, and even if the sun's about to come up, I mean, it takes time. You would have like, between it being pitch black and it being daytime.
Right. But you
didn't even try.
But you didn't even try. And my point being is like he throws so much at you, and it's like I can keep up, but at some point my brain just sort of says, "Got it, more mission stuff."
No, especially when you don't care anymore.
Yeah, it's like you haven't done any character work to make me interested in your movie, so now you're just spitting out. It's like a video game. It's like I'm watching a video. It's like I'm watching Call of Duty. That's boring. It
did devolve into like some of the
We're 5 minutes out.
The tropes, right? Yeah,
everybody stay frosty.
Yeah, some of the cliche shit, like I said with Matthew Modine with the press conference as the Secretary of State or whatever.
Yep.
There's a lot of that kind of the conversations, the mission conversations over Skype and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of talking me into liking it less. To be honest with you,
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying like what bothered me. And
it's hard for me to defend a lot of this
because it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a C, not C plus. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's better than a lot of the shit you could go and see.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it's one of those things where I almost feel bad because it's like I have to be objective, but there's part of me that's like, but I really like this Taylor Sheridan guy, and I want to like this.
Yes,
but it's like. It's just stuff happened. Like clearly something happened.
No, that's where I'm at with it. Is I walked out saying like this was like just they threw this together.
Yeah,
they wanted a sequel to this movie.
They
didn't take their time. They have like a good like let's think of another like Mexican cartel premise.
Right.
I think that's fine.
Right.
I don't think that's the problem.
Yep.
I think that there's the way the pieces fit together. It felt like it was made in a hurry to me, you know? So
the worst that, okay, I'm going to say some things I liked because I've been shitting on it pretty bad. Brolin is great. He's always great. Benicio is once again great. And I know he kind of sort of almost like sleepwalks through the movie kind of because he looks tired a lot of the time, but that's part of the character.
That's the character, right?
But so he's good. The little girl is great.
The Transformers girl.
So glad I don't have anything to taint my viewing of her because she was great in this. I'll tell you why I really like her character. She's introduced in a great scene in which she gets into a fight with a girl at her, I think, all-girl like prep school thing.
Right.
And she's beating the shit out of this. She's not like grabbing her hair. She's like punching the girl in the face and like really hard. Like,
they show the little girl like when they were meeting with the principal or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, she looks beaten to shit.
Yeah. And I'm like, I haven't seen girls like have like a real fight in a movie. It's always like, pulling my hair and screaming. It's like, no. If they wanted to fight, this would be a real fight. I believe that there are women out there that do this. They don't just pull hair.
Yeah, there's some badass women, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe this is like a future Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
But I also like the fact that she gets into the principal's office and the principal's all like, I should expel you. And she's making her case in that the girl said like, oh, you're just a narcoto bitch or whatever. And she's like, so I beat the shit out of her. And the principal's like, well, that's not your choice to make. And he's like, I should suspend you. And then she's all, well, then do it.
Yeah, right.
And I love the fact, I had a friend, I saw it with a friend, and he said, what a bitch. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I like her. This is a chick who has tremendous self-awareness. She knows her situation. It's like, do something, bitch. Do something about it if I'm such a problem.
Yep. And there's nothing he can do.
And there's nothing. And I was like, great. I liked it.
By the way, that principal is in Tin Star.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's hilarious because I was like, oh, the Tin Star guy. And he's a real like character in Tin Star.
Okay. And I liked her arc. I liked her arc going from sort of this entitled sort of bitchy character to very humbled and very scarred.
Right. Well, this would be a very light recommendation to me, only for people who have seen the first Sicario and really like that, because it keeps the aesthetic of Sicario. It's not a great movie by any means.
Right.
It's not like an unworthy sequel, though, in my opinion.
I'd say wait until it's on Netflix in like 3 or 4 months. If you really want to see it, just wait. Because I don't think it's even worth the $5 for like a $5 Tuesday or a movie pass.
I mean, if you have a movie pass, go for free.
Yeah. I guess if you've already seen your movies that made it worthwhile, I guess go see. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, with Movie Pass, you folks can see any movie and not give a shit because you're not paying anything extra.
I hate that ad. I don't want that ad on my podcast.
Why? Because there's going to be shitty movies making money.
No, I just don't. Yeah.
I don't know. The fact that you don't have a movie
With
pass,
Movie
Alex,
Pass,
yeah, that was
you
the
can see
idea.
any shit you want.
That's true. That should be their ad.
And when we say shit, we mean shit.
Thinking about seeing Sicario 2, but not sure. Oh, do you have a movie pass? Then go for it.
check it out.
Fuck it.
Movie Pass. Fuck it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're working in marketing.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, whatever. See it if you want. Don't see it if you want. Like it if you want. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, this isn't going to offend Alex if you like it.
I don't care.
Right.
There's nothing to be passionate
It's
about.
not
in this
like
movie.
if you like came up to him and you were like, you know what? Fallen Kingdom is the best Jurassic Park movie.
I'd just laugh at you if you said that.
That would
I'd be
bother
like,
me.
I'd be like, dude, you're so ignorant. It's unbelievable.
But yeah, I mean that's it for Sicario. Now we were talking about a future bonus episode where we flip a coin to see which classic movie we're going to be watching.
Yeah.
What was your pick again?
What was I saying?
Casablanca?
Casablanca.
Casablanca, and I've got Lawrence of Arabia.
Okay.
Now you've seen neither of these, and I've seen both of these.
Okay.
So, you're going to call it in the air.
Okay.
We're flipping a coin
This
here.
never works out for me.
Yeah, well, you're 0 for 1. We'll
No, just in my life.
Okay. You're going to call it, or no, you're not going to call it in the air. You're going to call it before I flip.
Okay.
Because we don't want a Detroit Lions, Pittsburgh Steelers overtime moment.
Fair
Those
enough.
football fans out there will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what's your call?
We'll go with. Fuck, I hate now. I'm all overthinking it. Doesn't matter. They're both good movies. Go ahead. It's
Heads?
Oh, I fell off the table.
It's tails.
Told you I never win.
So we'll be watching Lawrence of Arabia. I don't know if it'll be before next week or the week after. We do have some scheduling to do here because I am going on a vacation soon, and I want to make sure you guys have content. I want to make sure you guys have content for the time I'm gone.
Going on a vacation.
So perhaps we'll save it for that, or we'll do something else. But I was a little worried, Alex, by the way. The Mission Impossible movie comes out.
When you're on vacation?
Yes. And I think I'm going to get back in time.
Looks like I'm going to have to be both halves of bored and annoyed.
No, I think I'm going to get back in time. I think I'll be back in time for that one. I don't know what I'll miss.
He's changing his vacation plans, people.
Yeah,
for the podcast.
I'm canceling my vacation plans because I just love Tom Cruise.
Right.
What can I say?
And there's no other way that he could. There's no place he could watch it but here.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Well, I don't want to say pretty. I'm
excited for it. I've liked the last two.
I'm looking
a lot.
forward to it.
Yeah.
But what we got? We already talked about.
Yeah, we already talked
out.
about. So next week, Ant-Man, Purge, and Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, sorry to bother you, but that's the end of the episode of Bored and Annoyed here.
Whoa! Look at that transition.
No, I'm 0 for 2 today on those. 0 for 2. But yeah, I have been Jackson.
I've been home at the movies.
You guys have a wonderful week.
Thank you for listening.
Yes.